I'm in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and this is a quaint little town on the Ohio River, but it is home to a terrifying cryptid and monster. It is home of the Mothman. Look at this statue. Looks like a silver statue of the Mothman. Don't know if that's his particular color, but wow, that is cool. Apparently Mothman is ripped, but he's also a moth, but with a human's body and moth wings. This statue is so cool. Look at his menacing face, ready to attack and eat humans. Here at the base they have a little plaque with a short history. The first occurrence was in November of 1966 and the last known was in December of 1967. So he only showed up for like over a year, which is unusual. And I did try to find the TNT area. There's like these abandoned TNT bunkers, but I couldn't locate them. So I guess I'll have to come back another time for that. But who knows, maybe the Mothman is still lurking around to this day. Most towns don't celebrate their local cryptid as much as Point Pleasant does. They've decided that it's a pretty interesting story, and they decided to embrace it as a town, and of course it's been very successful, bringing people like me all the way out here. They even do a Mothman festival in September. Of course, Mothman is so popular here that the town has even built a museum about the Mothman. Alright, now I'm gonna head into the world's only Mothman Museum. At the entrance, you're greeted by a flying, very creepy looking Mothman. This one looks a lot like a bat. This is a toy car replica of the 1957 Chevy that the two couples rode in when they first encountered the Mothman on the night of November 15th, 1966 at the TNT area northeast of town. Again, I did drive around the area looking for the abandoned TNT bunkers that's believed to be the lair of the Mothman, but I had to give up. But they were built as a World War II munitions plant, and this is the uniform of a mailroom employee at the facility. These railroad stakes were discovered at the TNT area. The railroad was built to transport chemicals in that were needed to produce TNT. This is a model of the North Power Plant, which Mothman allegedly flew into when the two couples spotted him, but it was demolished in the 90s. The evening of November 15th was not the first documented sighting of Mothman. 3 days earlier, on November 12th, 5 men digging a grave saw a winged man fly low from the trees around them, but it was the experience of the TNT area by Roger and Linda Scarberry and Steve and Mary Millette that caught media attention. They described a creature that looked like, quote, a large man with 10-foot wings and that it glowed red. These are the original handwritten accounts by the couples after their encounter. In the coming days, 2 volunteer firemen supposedly saw the Mothman. A few days later, Newell Partridge claimed to have seen the creature and aimed a flashlight at it and claimed it glowed, quote, like bicycle reflectors. It also messed with his television screen signals, made mysterious noises, and Mothman also stole his German Shepherd. At the time, a wildlife biologist from West Virginia University thought that this was a sandhill crane. Now, problem is, there aren't sandhill cranes in the area. They thought that perhaps a lone sandhill crane got in the area and then became deformed because of the toxic materials at the TNT area. But others still believe that Mothman was totally different. Then on the evening of December 15th, 1967, The Silver Bridge, which was built in 1928 as the first I-bar chain suspension bridge in the country, collapsed under the weight of rush hour traffic. The bridge connected US Route 35 over the Ohio River from Point Pleasant to Gallipolis, Ohio. So this was a huge deal. The collapse caused the deaths of 46 people, and it's an event that makes me understand why people are so scared of bridges. The official consensus was that an I-bar failed, as the bridge was carrying much heavier loads than intended and wasn't being maintained. So some blamed the infrastructure, but others believed it to be the work of the Mothman, as some have claimed to have spotted the creature near the bridge right before the catastrophe. Some believe that the Mothman had been an angel of death, that the reason it appeared in the year preceding the bridge collapse was as a warning of disaster to come. Mothman also may be the curse of Chief Cornstalk, who was murdered in Point Pleasant. More on his story in my 2ND Way State Park video. In 1966, Mothman was a phenomenon, and of course the Silver Bridge collapse was national news, but after that, Mothman was fairly obscure until the 2002 film The Mothman Prophecies. And here are a bunch of Screen News movie relics. These are the original Woodrow Derenberger tapes. Over a week before the Mothman sightings, on November 2nd, 1966, he had a very strange occurrence while he was driving near Parkersburg, West Virginia. John Keel was a ufologist and wrote the original Mothman Prophecies book, and this was a suit when he was a guest of honor at the festival. In 1966, he wrote a letter to Senator Robert F. Kennedy about UFOs, and this is the letter in return from Kennedy. And if you read the letter, I think Kennedy implies that he believed or knew that there are aliens. Another occurrence here was the Men in Black. There are claims that there were a few mysterious men who acted very robotically and rode around in black Lincolns and Cadillacs, frequently in Point Pleasant at the same time as the Mothman sightings. These are some furnishings and relics from the Harris Steakhouse, owned and operated by Carolyn Harris, who started the Mothman Festival and helped start the museum. So, that is the legend of the Mothman. I find cryptids very interesting, but I'm a bit of a skeptic, but it is just fascinating what happened from November 1966 to December 1967, and does beg the question, if or when will the Mothman return? Here's a Bigfoot in the window of this business. Some Mothman flags. He's also wearing a coonskin cap. And here's a plaque to Carolyn Harris. She's apparently very well loved and respected in the community here. And right here is where the Silver Bridge was. The ramp would have been right where I'm standing. So it was constructed in 1928. It resulted in the congressional passage of the National Bridge Inspection Standards in 1968. That's good. And here's the original memorial for 46 lives from Boston. They list the names of the city council instead of the victims. Really horrific disaster happened right here. So that was the Mothman Statue and Museum here in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Of course, an interesting cryptid and story, but Point Pleasant has done an amazing job presenting the Mothman and preserving the history before it returns. I hope to live to see that day. That'd be cool unless I got killed. Or I don't know. Probably, people shouldn't die. That would suck. But anyways, if you like this video, I've done a few videos about other cryptids like the jackalope and the skunk ape. So please go check those out. and thanks for watching.